All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club, this edition, Minnesota. So, as you can see, we got a nice sunflower out over here. It is a beautiful, cool, very unseasonably cool summer-ish fall morning. So, we've got the fire rip roaring. My mom is here. This is Daphne. Daphne was at the retreat with me in North Carolina, and we have some people who are also in North Carolina here live today. So, it's going to be a little bit of a reunion. We're just going to get right into it. I'm super excited for today. I have a cute little plan that I think you're going to love. We will begin in a seated meditation. So, as a reminder, for your seat, you could take any seat. You can sit with your legs out in front of you. You can sit with your legs crossed. Whatever you choose, try to maybe even take your hands and scoop the flesh out from under your butt so your sits bones are firm down on the ground. And then bring your hands somewhere on your body. So you might bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the low belly. You might take both hands on the thighs and then close your eyes. Let your shoulders get heavy. And just take a deep breath in and exhale. Many of us are at different points in our day. So, wherever you are, notice the quality of your thoughts. And by that, I mean, is it easy for your mind to settle right now? Or is it a bit harder? Again, deep breath in and out. Our intention for today's class is very simple. We are doing yoga for stress relief. So even if right now you feel so zen, your mind is clear and calm, this is a fantastic practice to take you kind of out of maybe your nervous system into your breath, slowing down. So, with that in mind, your only goal for class today will be to reduce stress and relax. So if I offer poses that don't serve you, if you feel like laying on your mat and that's going to help you kind of zen out, you get to take what works best for you and your body. A reminder that this practice is for you. Take another deep breath in and out. If you have your legs crossed, lean back and switch the cross of your legs. So it's going to be crossed, legs crossed the opposite way. And we're going to come into a brief breath work one more time, just evening out the crisscross. Inhale and exhale. Inhale slow on my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep counting in your head for 5 more rounds of breath. Notice if your mind wanders anywhere other than the breath, bring it back. Keep counting. And once you have taken 5 rounds of breath, so only you will know, you can move into tabletop pose, trying not to use your hands on the way there. Once you're in tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. I'm going to give it a few seconds more just for someone who might have a little bit slower breath. And then when you're ready, you can drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, gaze high, cow pose. And exhale, round into cat. So once more, I want you to move with your breath. I'm not going to count it out. We'll take quite a few rounds of this. So start maybe with your regular cat and cow, breath in, breath out. After a little bit, you might start to add in different movements, maybe a barrel roll side to side. Maybe you sit your butt back towards your heels, take a child's pose in between. One of the best ways to release stress is to ask our body what it needs, right? And so this is where we start that. Like, what does your body need? Checking in. Take a few more rounds of breath. Again, adding in any movements you might like to add in. On your next exhale, come back to your tabletop pose. So take your time getting there. Finish your round of breath. And then find tabletop. Now in tabletop, a lot of times we naturally have a bend in the spine. So let's take the bend out of the spine. Try pulling your core in, push your hands into the ground, and then walk your knees together. So knees together, ankles together. Shift your weight over into your right leg, extend your left leg back, and then just push into the toe and take a big stretch in the heel. So toe on the ground to start. Yeah, big calf stretch. Rock left and right. And then when you are ready, now you can lift the foot up off the ground if that feels okay. But notice once you lift, the low back kind of starts to like dip down, right? So core comes in. If you really want to exaggerate this, you can think about tucking the pelvis as you push into the hands, a gentle rounding of the upper spine. Now, take one more inhale here. Exhale, bend into the knees so the foot goes up towards the ceiling. Once more, notice if you're bending in the low back. A lot of times when we work on hip extension and we try to bend, so take the bend out of the spine, belly button up and in, reach the foot up towards the ceiling. So bend into the Nemo. There we go, great. Now try to push that foot up as high as you can, yes, while pulling the core in, hold. 3, 2, breath in, 1. Exhale, knees together. Shift your weight over into the left side. When you're ready, re-round through the spine and then push the right big toe into the ground as you extend the leg back, stretch through that calf. This feels really nice for me today. So notice if you're like, oh yeah, that's the spot, you might want to hold for a second, or maybe movement is what feels more nurturing. And then come back to center, lift the foot up, pull the belly in, and then First, extend through the legs. So think about hip extension as you lift up, trying to counteract the movement by imagining that you're tucking the pelvis, which is really hard in this posture. We naturally want to make a back bend, right? When you're ready, bend into the knee, reach the foot up towards the sky, and try to push the foot up into the ceiling as you continue to press into the hands, maybe round through the upper spine. Your neck should be pretty relaxed, not too much tension in the upper spine. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. As you exhale, knees together, take your knees wide, toes touch, sit back, child's pose. Hands can come forward or maybe back by your side. We'll just be here for a second. Option to take movement in child's pose today. Maybe you sway left and right. Breath in and out. All right, inhale, pull yourself back up, tabletop pose, walk your knees hip width distance apart this time, curl your toes under, push your butt back towards your heels, push into your hands, and then just lift the knees to hover off the mat. Option, if you don't want to hover, try pulling the hands towards the knees and knees towards the hands without moving them. So 2 different options. You might be holding either way. We're trying to find engagement in the core or the top of the thighs, right where your quads are. 3, 2, 1. Toes down, lead with the butt and push up and back into downward facing dog. Take your feet hip width distance apart. If downward dog doesn't work for you, always the option for tabletop pose. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale here. Exhale, come forward to plank pose. You might need to step your feet back a little bit to bring the hips in line. You'll lower the hips down and then we'll all come down to our belly. So either knees up or knees down. Maybe you're in tabletop. Let's lower slow. 3, 2, and then 1. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. So no hands, shoulders roll back, squeeze the elbows together. Press the tops of the feet into the mat and stay. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift, squeeze. Exhale, stay. One more, why not? Ready? Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Great work. All right, curl the toes under. Elbows come towards the sides. Push up to either tabletop or plank pose. And once more, lead with the butt up and back, downward facing dog. Feet hip width distance apart. Breath in and out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Take steps there, ideally. Once you're in Uttanasana, head is heavy. Then take a really generous bend in the knees. So bend your butt so much that you can place your right hand down on the ground in front of you. So you'll push the right hand down and then you'll reach the left hand high and a little bit of a twist. If this doesn't work, you might take fingertips. You might even come here and just try to twist up high. So lots of different levels. Look up towards that top hand. Roll your right shoulder down and under. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale, left comes down, left hand comes down, right hand comes up. So switch it out, big twist open to the side. Roll that left shoulder under. So notice if it's rolling forward towards your chest, try to roll it back and rotate the bicep behind you. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale, hands come down, walk the feet nice and close together, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Once more, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. As you inhale, sit the butt back, sweep the arms forward or wide and come to chair pose. Walk the feet ideally around hip width distance apart for this first one. And then give the hips a little bit of a shimmy. So notice we want a neutral spine, butt isn't back, pelvis isn't tucked. By shaking the hips, we kind of ensure that the spine is neutral. Arms are straight, maybe gaze up towards the ceiling a little bit for this one, opening the throat. Breath in and out. Again, inhale. Sit a little deeper, exhale. Breath in. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana, walk your feet together, close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. All right, inhale, sweep your hands up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. This is a moon salutation in honor of this full moon that we're rocking. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, big bend in your knees. Plant your hands, shift your weight into your left foot, step your right foot back. You might need to wiggle the left foot forward to come to a low lunge. Option to have the back knee down or come up, crescent pose. Hands high. Now we're going to be here for a little bit. So pull your left hip back in space. Push your right hip flexor forward, almost like you're trying to drag that right leg as much as you can. Option to stay here, just gazing forward, strong crescent. Or maybe, I know it's a little bit early, I'm just going to suggest it, you don't have to do it. You start to lean your head back slightly as you pull your chest forward. So remember, in class, a back bend isn't actually bending back. It's chest expanding forward, shoulders back, open the heart. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot, look forward. Bend into your back knee. If you're in tabletop, you're just going to lean and step Uttanasana, feet together, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend in the knees, plant the hands, shift the weight into the right foot, step your left foot back. And again, you might need to wriggle the right foot forward slightly. Inhale, come up, either crescent or back knee down. Now, pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Same concept. It's like you're dragging this leg. So I want these initial poses to be strong. I know it's a long hold, but this is our opportunity to really engage in the legs and start to fire up all these muscles so they're prepared for what we do later. So really, pull the right hip back, left hip forward, big stretch in the hip flexor, option to open the throat slightly, and then think about me pulling the chest forward as you reach that chest towards the front of the room. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale here. Exhale. Sweep your hands down. Frame your foot. Look forward. Bend in your back knee. Big step top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend in your knees. Plant your hands. Step both feet back, or maybe you even hop back as you lower down all the way to the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Untuck the toes. Inhale. Start with baby cobra, but then slide the hands forward and come to Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx, chest forward, shoulders back, open the throat slightly. Close your eyes and gaze at the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale, lower the chest down. Now, we are going to change it up a little. Hands or head will come to the top of the hands. So bring your hands together, palms on top of one another, forehead to the hands. Bend into your left knee. Flex your foot up towards the ceiling. And then try to push that foot up and lift it up off of the ground. Maybe you can lift the thigh and only the hip remains. Hold. Option to even take little baby pulses at the top of the range for 3. So small, right? Like I can barely move. 2, 1, release down, switch it out. Right knee will bend and then flex, lift the right knee up. Maybe you can take the thigh up off the mat. Option to take tiny pulses as you hold. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, lower the knee down. Take a full inhale as the leg extends. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. All right, slide your hands back. My new cue is your thumbs are in line with your nipples. So actually look down. Are your thumbs in line with your nipples? If they are, great. Shoulders back. Try to roll the shoulders back first. Curl your toes under. Option 1, push up to tabletop pose. Option 2, you might lift the thighs first, then push up to plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Right away, inhale, look forward, and then step, walk, hop to the top of the mat, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose, hands high. Okay, so one of the funny things about like stress or even anxiety is sometimes in order to relieve it, we actually need to put our body under a bit of stress. It releases endorphins. There's all these feel good, awesome things that happen when we challenge ourselves. So we're going to hold chair pose and move through some swimmers. Take a breath in and then make fists. So your thumbs will point up and back behind you. Inhale. Arms straight if you can. Exhale, flip the thumbs down, and then sweep the arms back really slow, nice and easy. You might stay and stop here, or if you can, try to bend into the elbows and hover the knuckles above low back. Next, inhale, you'll extend, rotate through the shoulders. Slowly reach up high, biceps by the ears. Inhale here. Exhale, thumbs down, sweep. Now notice if your chair is slowly creeping up. Maybe you can think about it creeping down, bend into the elbows, hover the hands above the low back. Inhale. Exhale, extend. Rotate, 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 really slow, nice and easy. Reach the biceps up by the ears. We can do one more. Exhale, sweep the thumbs down and back. Rotate, 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 shoulders roll. Maybe knuckles come above to hover above the low back. Once more. Take a full breath in as you extend. Rotate, rotate, rotate. You can do this. Biceps by the ears, reach. And then exhale, hands by your sides. Tadasana. Close your eyes. I'm waiting for my mom to tell me she needs the fire off. I'm not going to do it until she says it. Breath in. It is hot. It is Sunday Sweat Club in here. Breath out. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Inhale. Sweep the hands up. Look up. Moving a little bit faster. Exhale. Fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale, bend in the knees, plant your hands, step your right foot back, wiggle your left foot forward, and then inhale up, crescent pose, or back knee can be down. Two variations. You will stay for a breath in, arms high, maybe take a back bend, breath out. Once more, inhale. Exhale. All right, spin the back heel down, warrior two as you gaze forward. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Now, in warrior two, sink down into that front knee. So really sink down, pull the feet towards one another. A little bit of time to build here as you reach. Your arms, when I come by, are super strong. Palms face down if you can. Extend. Yes, great. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Now, I'm going to keep you in warrior two. Yes, I am. For a little bit longer. So take a breath in. And then exhale, sweep the hands behind the back. Maybe bring the hands either to the hips, or you could extend the hands and bring them to the low back, palms on top of one another. If that feels okay, you could even go for reverse prayer, palms up the back. Remember, there's always options to grow. Think about pushing your chest forward, right? So your chest is going to come up as we move into a little bit of a back bend in our warrior two. It's almost like reverse warrior, but instead of kind of leaning to the side, you're pushing the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Whew, that front leg. Once more. Breath in. Exhale, extend the arms. Inhale. Exhale, side angle. Elbow comes to the knee or hand can come to the inside of the foot. Guitar hero up and around as you gaze high. Today, make your arms like a T. So when I say side angle, typically I mean one long line from the hands, extending. Extended side angle would be where you create one long line from essentially the top hand to the bottom foot. Today, T-shaped arms. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, lift up. Warrior two. Ooh. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot, lift your back heel off the mat, look forward. You are going to step one big step, or back knee can come down, right? Into Uttanasana, forward fold. We're moving right onto the other side. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend in the knees, plant the hands, shift your weight into your right foot, left foot comes back. Option to have the back knee down or up. Remember, this is your party. We're relieving stress. How are you going to do that today? Inhale, hands up, crescent. Option to take a little bit of a back bend. Breath in. And out, right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. And then exhale, spin it into warrior two, hands extend. So take a little time. We're in warrior two for what seems like an eternity, right? Once you're there, bend into the front knee. Get nice and low. Try to align the knee over the ankle. If it goes past, that just means you can step wider and get lower, right? Arms reach, palms face down, gaze off your front hand. Inhale. Try pulling your feet together without moving them. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, you'll sweep the hands either one to the hips or back behind you. Maybe you even take palms on top of one another in the low back, or reverse prayer, hands reaching up and back. Now, reach the chest forward. So chest pulls forward as the shoulders roll back. Little bit of a heart opener. Sink down into that front knee, don't forget. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. You got this. Easy peasy. Again, inhale. Exhale. All right, take the bend out of the spine. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, side angle pose, option elbow to knee. Remember, today we have the two arms in line, so the fingers reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe the hand comes down to the inside of the foot. If it is on the inside, one of my favorite things to do is cheat. I always like to put a lot of weight in that hand. My upper body's really strong. So I'm like, oh, I'll put all the weight in that, but let's not cheat. Let's instead lift up. Your side body is supporting you here, right? As you extend up to the ceiling for 3. Keep breathing. 2. Mama, don't hear you breathing. 1. Breath in. Exhale, lift up, warrior 2. Oh my God. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot. Lift the back heel off the mat, gaze forward, and then try to take one big step into Uttanasana, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, chair pose. And then exhale, come to standing, hands by your side, Siddhasana, close your eyes. So, once your body is still, eyes closed, palms gently face forward, I'd like you to just imagine stress melting off your body. If you're sweating, a great visualization as we start to get warmed up is every little bit of stress, every little bit of effort is actually releasing things from your body, right? You're letting go. So start to see this in your mind's eye as we stand. Breath in. Breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, blink your eyes open, step your feet together. Toes might touch, sliver space between the heels if that's not comfortable. Hip width distance. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up, reach. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bend in your knees, plant your hands, step back to either plank or tabletop pose. We'll lower down slow. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Then try to slide the hands forward and just turn it into Sphinx. So remember, for Sphinx, elbows are in front of the shoulders slightly. Start to pull the palms back. Now, a few options as we move into this, and I want you to be very aware of the muscles in your butt and your low back as they start to work. So option 1, kind of shift your energy and push your right foot down into the ground. Feel your right quad engage and just push the foot down into the ground without specifically moving. When you're ready, lift the left foot up off of the ground, trying to hover that thigh. If you're like, Madison, F no, you can bend. Try the bending variation and you might find it's a little easier to lift. If this is too much in Sphinx, what can you do? You just bring this bad boy down here and take a little relaxer. Upper body's relaxed. What I care about more is lifting that foot. If you've got the legs straight, maybe you start to draw little circles with the leg in one direction. So you're like drawing, and when I say little, I mean it though, right? Like not big circles, like you're drawing around a golf ball or maybe an orange if I'm feeling generous. Hold and breathe. 3, try to lift that knee up, squeeze the glute. 2, 1, release. Nice work. Breath in and out. I know this is a long hold. Moving on to the other side, start by pushing your left foot into the ground. It's weird, but this really helps. And if I tell you to relax that left leg, it's going to feel almost impossible. When you're ready, lift that right thigh up off the ground, either with the leg straight or with the foot bent. Whatever you're doing, keep the energy going into the left leg as you reach. Perfect. Now, if you're in Sphinx, don't get too lazy in the upper body. Keep pushing into the elbows. Start to make little circles if your leg is straight. If your knee is bent, you might be taking little pulses. Remember, those of you making circles, it's around a golf ball or an orange, nothing bigger, no basketballs, no sloppy movements. Hold. 3. Keep going. You got it. 2. Almost there. 1. Breath in. Exhale, release. Great work. Release the head down if you were up in Sphinx. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, slide your hands back, thumbs in line with nipples. Curl the toes under. Maybe lift the thighs first. Press to either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in and out. All right, we move through our moon salutation. Now, inhale your right leg high. Keep the hip closed to start. Point the foot or flex the foot. I'm going to tell you to do whatever feels more comfortable as long as you can keep that hip closed. Inhale once more. Push your hands into the mat. And then exhale, take your right knee to your right tricep. Lean forward as far as you can and step that foot to the outside of the hand. So big low lunge. Option to take the back knee down. Sink the hips down to the ground. Get a nice big hip stretch in the left hip flexor. Now, try pulling the chest towards the front of the room like you're an up dog in the chest. We are encouraging, yes, a little bit of a back bend. You can probably tell our peak pose will have a little bit of back bending, right? Breath in and out. Hug the right knee into the midline. Inhale. Squeeze it into your tricep. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Push the knee to the tricep, maybe round through the upper spine. Lift the right foot up off the mat first if you can, and then step up and back, downward facing dog or tabletop. You'll immediately go into the opposite side. Inhale, left leg up and back. Remember, straight or flexed, I don't care which, your hip is just closed. So my new cue for that too is look down at your left thigh and roll it in. So internal rotation on the thigh, and that'll keep you from opening the hip. Then once it's internally rotated, lift a little bit more. Breath in. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the hand. Maybe wiggle forward, and we come to a big stretch on this other side. So push the right hip flexor down while hugging the left knee into the midline. My palms are sweating. Feels good. Roll the shoulders back, chest forward, close your eyes, maybe come to that little visualization. If you're not hot enough yet to get sweaty, no problem. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Try to drag your right foot forward and squeeze and pull in until you're just shaking, and you'll get there, I promise. Breath in and out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Connect the knee to the tricep. Take a breath in, maybe lift the foot first, and then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose or tabletop. Lower down slow. 3, 2, 1 to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. And then exhale, slide the hands forward, Sphinx pose. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale, forehead down, hands back. Curl the toes under. Option to take either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Once you're ready, you will inhale, look forward, and make your way to the top of the mat. Fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, butt back, chair pose. Come all the way through chair, reach up. Maybe think about extending the heart to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Breath in and out. All right, our first opportunity to really balance today. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Hands come to 3 options. Option 1, hips. Hands are gonna be on the hips. Option 2, remember when I had the palms on top of each other on the low back? You could take that option. Option 3, maybe you take hands at prayer with thumbs wrapping. Once your weight's in your left leg, start to bend into that right knee and draw it up to 90 degrees. So notice if you have your hands behind your low back or you're in prayer, you're almost a bit more naturally into a kind of back bend. Inhale here, and then exhale, extend into warrior 3. So you'll reach your right leg back. I'm going to try not to kick my mom. Reach your right leg back, pull your left hip forward, but today gaze forward and try to come into a back bend with your upper body. Let's point the toe if possible. Thinking about creating one big arch. And remember, when you come out, what do? You just fall right back into the pose. You give it a shot again and think about, how can I extend? How can I lift? And I care less about how high you lift the foot versus how much you're encouraging this back bend in your upper body, holding and breathing for 3. Gaze forward. You got this. 2. 1. Breath in. With control, exhale, step the feet together. Inhale, baby back bend, push into the feet, reach the heart high. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, release the hands and maybe slide them down the back of your butt, your thighs, your calves, pull in. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide, push through chair to lift up, leading with the heart, look high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands to either hips, low back. And if you're doing the low back, try to put your hands in the opposite level. The other one is going to be on the lower side, which you might have to think about. And if you don't know which one that is, that's fine. If you've got hands in prayer, try to wrap your thumbs in the opposite direction. It's going to feel weird. Shift your weight into your right foot. Exhale, left foot comes in, 90-degree bend. So think about creating the back bend first. What's happening is we begin back bending now as the chest comes up and forward. Maybe you can even open the throat. And then when you're ready, extend that leg back. Focus first on lifting the upper body high as you gaze forward. This is not our traditional warrior 3 at all. We're literally doing kind of the opposite of what we typically do. Pull your right hip back, then reach that left foot up as high as you can, creating a back bend, hip extension, hold. When you come out, take a breath and come back in. We are learning, right? We're building strength, releasing stress. And if you're like, Madison, my body feels a little stressed right now, great. That actually means we're doing something right. Lift a little higher. We're releasing endorphins. 3, 2, and then 1. Bend into the knee. Come back to center. Step your feet together. Exhale, slide and separate the hands down the body. Fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank or tabletop pose. You can do it. We're going to rest in just a second. Lower down slow. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, a back bend of your choice. Anything you want. What do you want to do? Maybe you just lift up a little bit. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, thumbs in line with the nipples, push up to tabletop. Then take your knees wide, toes together, push back, child's pose. Forehead comes down to the mat. You could take an extended child's pose with your knees together and your arms back as well, if that feels good. You could also take a drink of water like me. When our body is stressed, we are tense, right? We feel it in our shoulders, our jaw. There's all these places we carry stress. So our goal with this class is to move them, heat them, visualize, and then when we come into Shavasana, fully relax. And when I say relax, I mean relax. So maybe in child's pose here, you can just get a peek of that. Where can you relax, even if it's somewhere super small like your abdomen? Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, next inhale, hands come forward, push yourself up. curl your toes under, and then everyone's favorite pose, I know it, come to broken toe pose, butt sitting on your heels with the toes curled under if you can. If that's not possible for you, you can come up with hands on the hips in tabletop pose. Because we aren't too concerned about the toes today. I'm just adding it in for those of you who can do the toes. The idea will be to kind of mimic camel without coming into camel. So make sure your knees are hip width distance apart, hands to the hips, and then starting to extend through the spine. So actually push the hands down into the hips, reach the spine up. Imagine them getting longer, then roll the shoulders back, reach the chest forward like there's that string pulling from the heart, and you'll just hold here, maybe open the throat. If you're on your toes, same concept. How much can you push the belly forward, the heart forward, and the shoulders back? So essentially what's going to happen is your spine will move forward and up, not leaning back, right? Focus on lifting. 3. This is how we avoid compression in the low back. 2. 1. Breath in. Exhale everybody down. Hands come to the mat. Curl your toes under. Stay in tabletop or push up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. And then as you exhale, you could step one foot or hop both feet. Eventually, you'll meet me in a yogi squat at the top of the mat. Now, what we find happens in class is everybody's at a different level in a yogi squat, right? Some people are down here and they're like, yeah, I could do this all day. But in order to be fair, we can't all be down here. So instead, lift yourself up to about 90 degrees until your heels are firm on the ground. Elbows can come to the inside of the knees. Now, push your knees out behind you. Try to take them away from the elbows as much as you can, and then bring your elbows back. So we're just starting to open, but as you open, you're using your legs to open just as much as your arms. And when you get exhausted and you're sick of my shit, you might do what my mom did, and she's like, I'm gonna take a break. Ideally, try to stay with me, hold here. Keep pushing the knees back, reach the hands forward, squeeze the butt. 3, you can do this, push the knees back more. 2, 1, then we're gonna come to standing slow. Slow, slow. 5, oh my God, yep. 4, 3, 2, she's making it so great. 1, step your feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. A reminder that faces are good. She's rolling her eyes at me. I can't see you guys doing it, so it helps, but someone's here giving me shit. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, moving on to, we've got like kind of 2 peak poses I want to work on today. So we're going to take our time on this first one. Our peak pose for the day is dancer's pose. So a lot of the time in dancer, you can, she's over it. A lot of the time in dancer, if you take a look at me, you'll see we are going to reach up, right, back, grab for the inside of the foot. I'll cue you through all this. So if it doesn't make any sense, that's fine. Notice my shoulder is rolling back, my bicep rolls backwards. Then what happens is I kick my foot into my hand into my foot. I come into this big dramatic back bend and I'm like, yeah, I could do this all day. Which is why we're going to do it different, right? Of course. So instead of using our hand, we're going to do dancer, sans connecting the hand to the foot. So first, and I will let you grab it because I know people get mad if I don't let you and you really want to, but first we're going to try it without. So shift your weight over into your right leg, bend into your left knee, flex the foot. Reach your right hand down by your side, press it on your thigh, inhale your left hand high. All right, now start to back bend here. From the chest, your chest will come forward, reach and elongate your spine, open your throat. Then start to lean your chest down to the mat while maintaining the bend that you created. As you lean, your hip will extend up, your foot will go up to the ceiling. You might stay here and work with this, right? In and out. You'll come in and out, trying to reach. Option to rotate like we did through that shoulder. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And imagine you're going to grab the outside of the foot, even though you're not. The hand will come back. The foot will lift. I like to do, for some reason, my right hand to my belly feels good. I don't know why. So find a place where your right hand feels nice. When you come out, come back in. Hold. 3. 2. 1. Ooh, come out. Come to standing. Hands by your side. Tadasana. Breath in. And out. All right, shift your weight into your left leg, bend into your right knee. Left hand comes to the hip. I like to kind of keep it hand on the leg. Inhale, right hand high. then we start by bending now. So essentially, I'm trying to make your passive and your active range a little bit closer with this, right? So chest forward, shoulders back, reach up. And then as you exhale, continue forward, but keep the bend in the spine. Hand might come to the belly or to the hip. Reach the right foot up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Now, this is your active range, right? It might look different than your normal dancer because this is where you can control with your spine, your glutes, your shoulders, right? Hold, lift. We've got a few more breaths. If you come out, come back in. Option to rotate through the shoulder, and imagine you're going to grab for the outside of the foot for this one as you're reaching up, flexing. Try to drop that right hip down. 3. Good job. 2. And 1. Come to standing. Whew. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And out. All right, round 2. This time, you have the option. Remember, this class is for you. You might take what we just did again. See if you can get a little bit higher, play with your balance. If it's accessible to you, you are welcome to do this posture with the hand. So I'll cue both, but I'm going to change it up. Once you have your hand to your foot, I'm going to change it up either way. So you pick which one you want to do. Remember, we're moving without ego, and we are here just to nurture our mind and body, release stress. Shift your weight over into your right leg, right? I hope it's your right leg. It's going to be your right leg. Yeah, that feels right. My left leg's tired. Okay, so weight into that leg. Bend into your left knee. Reach your left hand high. Hold and balance here. 3, 2, 1. Start to lean forward. And then maybe rotate that hand back. So notice, this isn't our traditional dancer's pose, but you might start to rotate through the hand and grab for the outside edge of that foot. Now, instead of opening through the hip, you are going to turn the chest forward and try to keep the hips closed as you kick into that hand. If you have the foot, see how high you can get it. Then I challenge you to release the foot and keep it where it is. 3. 2. 1. Come out. Come to standing, hands by your sides. We'll take a little bit of a break. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, shift your weight into your left leg. Same weird dancer variation. Inhale, bend into your right knee. Reach your right hand high, left hand glues to the hip. Now, start to extend, chest first. Reach through the heart. Bend into the foot. Maybe you can sweep that right hand back and grab for the outside of the right foot. Option to take your opposite hand forward as you extend. So left hand forward. Kick the foot into the hand into the foot, but close the hips. So the reason I'm teaching us dancer this way is because eventually when you move on to the full version, you have both elbows up and behind the head and you're grabbing for the foot and your chest is forward. For me, this helps us close the hip, right? So keep closing the hip down, kick the foot into the hand into the foot. If you have the hand and the foot together, I challenge you to try to release it and keep it where it is. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Come to standing. Whew. Hands by your sides. Close your eyes. All right. Back to the visualization. If you have sweat anywhere on your body, imagine that's just stress. All gone. Relax in the shoulders. Relax the jaw, eyes, face. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Let's do one more. You can do this. Lower down slow. 3, 2, shoulders roll back, retract the scapula, 1 at the bottom. Inhale, back bend of your choice. You're really warmed up for whatever you might want to do here. We'll just take 1 extra breath in the back bend. And then exhale, lower down. Slide the hands back, curl the toes under, push yourself. We're all going to tabletop pose this time. So push up to tabletop. And then 1 more pose. I said there were kind of a few variations, right? So 1 more pose before we come down to the ground. We're going to work on camel. So if you were here before, toes untucked, you might stay here again. I want to rethink the way that we do camel. So hands can come to the hips, extend through the spine, push the chest up. This is option 1. So this will be the more, I want to say, I don't want to say it's easier by any means, just the first variation that you can try. Chest up to the ceiling, roll the shoulders back, open the heart. Then maybe you can start to drop the shoulders back as you push the hips forward. So hips extending forward rather than leaning back, right? It's kind of the same thing, but it's a different way to think about it. Hip flexors up, hands can stay on the hips as you open the heart. Toes could be tucked or untucked. And then we have 3 big breaths. If you feel any pain in your low back, come out and think about extending, lengthen the spine. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, back to center. Sink the heel or the butt down to the heels and just take a break. Inhale. Exhale. All right, round 2. And then that's it. Basically, round 2, we're down on the mat, we're stretching, and you're gonna have the best Shavasana ever because you're gonna be Zen AF. So come on up. Option 1 to do just what we did. Option 2, you might take this variation, and we've done this a few times in the sweat club, where you curl your toes under, hands can come to the heels. Then we start the back bend by pushing the chest forward. If you watch, I'm gonna try to turn so you can just literally watch my spine. Open, heart up to the ceiling. You might stay, or once your heart's up and open, throat is open, all you have to do is lift up the hips. I know I said all you have to do, it's hard, but coming to full camel, it can be a bit easier when our spine is bent from the top to the bottom. Wherever you are, we're holding for 3 slow breaths. Inhale. Exhale. I know it's hard to breathe. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale, lower down wherever you are. If you are in my version, the hips are going to come down, untuck the toes, take a seat on the heels. We will all meet, hands on the thighs. Close your eyes. With your eyes shut, palms on the thighs, try to lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. So it's almost like you kind of squeeze your core in, right? Think about the vertebra and your low back separating as you engage and lift. 3. Breath in. 2. And 1. All right. Eyes come open. We're all going to come down to our backs, laying down, but I want you to try to get there without your hands. So even if you are in the back of your mat, you might lean back, try to extend the legs forward so your feet are at the top of the mat. And then core control on the way down, if you can. Nice, Mom. Lower yourself all the way down. Extend, reach, arms above your head. It's all good. You won't hit my feet. And then swivel side to side. Let the feet go long. So reach the legs out. Rock side to side. Breath in. Great. Breath out. All right, inhale. Draw one knee towards the chest, but stop at 90 degrees, and then bring the other one to meet it. So you're gonna have knees, essentially your shins are parallel to the ground, both knees up and in. Great. Then push your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. And at the same time, push your low back into the mat. So feel your belly button draw down to the spine as you push the low back in. The more you push the hands into the thighs into the hands, the more you should shake. Absolutely crazy. What are we doing? We're lengthening the spine, spinal extension. Push a little harder. 3, 2, great. And 1. Breath in. Exhale, take the left leg long, right knee comes in now, and you'll twist over to the left side. So nice big twist. Option 2, put a block under the knee if you need a little bit of support. Remember, as we cool down, this is about stress relief. So try to make these postures the opposites of what we did before, right? This is our coming back to center. Everything we do in class, every pose, yes, there are 9 million other benefits, but it is a preparation for meditation. And what comes with meditation is the closing, or I guess we could say the shutting off of the thinking mind. And stress is centered in the thinking mind, right? That is the place, the epicenter. When we are in meditation, we are at peace. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, take it back to center. Let's switch it out when you're ready. Even out the hips first, so the low back's gonna come back down to the mat. Maybe you wiggle, maybe draw the knees into the chest. And then when you're ready, extend the right leg long, left knee in, and then twist over to the right side. Remember, I care more about your left shoulder being heavy down to the mat than your right knee being down onto the ground. So you're welcome to put a block under the knees so you can feel like you can fully relax. Gaze over to the left if it feels comfortable. Breath in. And then this is that stage of surrender. You notice your mind wandering off the mat and anywhere else. Bring it back to, where can I relax? What does my body feel like? How can I use my breath to surrender more to this posture? Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, come on back to center. Once more, even the hips out, this time with a happy baby. So you can draw the knees into the chest and then reach the hands through the inside of the legs. So I want the hands coming through the inside. Maybe they can wrap around and grab for the ankles, maybe for the outside of the feet, but the knees will come to the outside of the triceps and pull down towards the ground. Option to maybe move side to side. You could play with straightening one leg and then the other. Allow your abdomen to relax here. Breath in. And exhale, draw the knees in to the chest. If there is anything else that you would like to do to close your practice, any other movements that you need to relieve stress, right? Because we are in preparation for that meditation. The next pose is Shavasana. So maybe just do a little bit of a full body scan. If you are not doing this video live, you could also pause and take even a couple minutes to move, right? If that's what the body is calling for. But when you are ready, can make your way towards Shavasana. Toes fall out, heels in. So I like to once more wiggle the hips, right, to ensure I'm not holding onto the hips. Shoulders back, palms face up. Eyes are closed. And then wiggle your jaw. This is one of the primary places a lot of us carry stress. So make sure the jaw is just completely relaxed in this posture. And then bring your awareness to your neck, your upper back, another place that we tend to carry the load, the weight of life. Can you allow your shoulders to just be heavy on the mat? And then let's walk that awareness down the abdomen into the hips. Relax your stomach, relax your hips, your glutes. It's always where we tend to clench. So let your butt be chill. You're in a safe space. And then all the way down the legs, the thighs, the knees, right? Until you get to the ankles and eventually the toes. Imagine that your body is triple the weight that it would normally be. Feel heavy. Like Earth's gravity just increased to give you a really wonderful Shavasana. Breath in. Exhale into Shavasana. When we are stressed, we don't always have time for an hour-long yoga class. But we do have time for smaller things. Maybe to do the 5 count breathing in and out, just for 1 minute. or throughout the day to take moments to relax the jaw, the neck, the head. Or even to do a yoga pose or two, just to come to a seat, maybe even to come into Shavasana for a minute or 2 minutes to allow the nervous system to relax back down. All of these are tools that you have. Little easy ways to remind the body that we are safe. Take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Reawaken your body with small movements. Eventually, maybe you can rock your head side to side a little bit. Open your mouth, wiggle your jaw, wrinkle your nose, take a facial stretch, and then reach the arms above the head, point the toes. Your second time waking up today, maybe you can stretch left and right. And then eventually you will roll onto one side by drawing your knees towards the chest. And then use the lower arm as the pillow in fetal pose just for a breath. Press yourself up into a comfortable seat facing any direction. And then bring the hands back to the body, just like we did before. Maybe it's the same seat you even started class in. As you inhale, roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, slide them down the back, lengthen the spine. Inhale, hands can come together at heart center or maybe two palms over the heart if that feels better for you. And then exhale, bow your chin in gratitude for this fantastic body and maybe, yes, sometimes a busy mind, but a mind that got you here to class today for all of this self-care. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift your head back up. Blink your eyes open. Get reacquainted with the day. Thank you all. Fantastic work. Great job, Mom. Thank you for volunteering today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next Sunday for the Sunday Sweat Club. Have a fantastic week, everyone.